Hi cloud people, in this video I'm gonna talk about an AWS service called IAM. Now what does IAM stands for? It stands for Identity and Access Management. What this service do is, it provides a central hub for you to have access to all of the user identities and resources of the account. Even if it's authorized, even if it's authenticated, all the services, all the accounts are basically managed here in a centralized way. IAM offers many things like groups, users, credentials, policies, roles. I'll tell everything about about these five things shortly. Now, IAM is basically for three things that I'll explain. Who can access what? Who comes under the users? All the users that your account has comes under who. When you'll create a first account on a AWS console, you will be assigned the root privilege. Your account will be named as root. Now, this is not very suggested to use root account for any purposes or anything in the AWS account, as it will create issues if you do anything that is not replaceable. So what you'll do is you'll create a user account with admin privileges. Now focus on this thing. You'll create a user account with admin privileges. Now how do you know that this account you created about for admin privileges is an admin account? The admin account will defined only by the permission that is assigned to it, the permissions that you give to the account. So all the permissions grouped together are called policies. Policies comes under can access. So the policies will define what is allowed for you. So even if you are allowed for anything, that will come under policies, the permission group of permission. Now what user can access anything if it's assigned the policy, if it assigns the permission. Now, AWS provides 200 services as of now, and to manage those 200 AWS services, you need a permission list. So, if supposedly I want to access a S3 bucket, to access it, I want a permission. So, what I want to access comes under here. What is S3 bucket? Can access. What is the permissions do I need? The access permission, the read permission, write permission, and who is accessing. So, all three are covered. Now, who is accessing? I am accessing. What I am accessing? I am reading. From what I am reading, it's S3 bucket. I hope this is clear. Now, what does IAM provides? IAM provides two basic things. One is identities and other is permissions. Under identities, there come four things: users, groups, roles, credentials. And under permissions, it comes policies that I already told you. Now, the four things that comes under identities are basically just a little bit of different that I'll tell you. The groups, suppose we'll take an example of a company for all of the video. Now I have a company of like 500 people. In that I have four departments: finances department, tech department, marketing department, media department. These four departments have different things to do. In technical field they have to do different, in other fields they have to do different. Now what I'll do is, instead of assigning permissions to 500 users, imagine how hard it will be. So instead of assigning permissions to 500 people, I'll create four groups based on every field that I have. One group for technical, one group for marketing, one group for the anything the other groups. So what I'll do is I'll put the users, the workers that are working in the field in the respective groups. Supposedly I am in the technical field, so I'll put myself, my the users that are working in my field in the technical group. Now groups, you can't put a person, a user, in two groups at the same time. So this is a drawback, but it is how it is. So you can apply policies to users, groups, roles, and give them permissions to access the things they want and to do the things they want. Now while accessing the policies, I'll take your moment here. You should always follow the least privilege principle. What is least privilege principle? It is when you assign the least privileges to a user, group, or role, anything that they are supposed to have. Supposedly I want, and my work is to just read from finances and make a report, so I only need the read access to the finances. So you should not give me any other permissions than that. This is what least permission policy is. Okay, least privilege policy is. Now in the roles, what does role means? Suppose I am working in a coffee shop on a startup, and there are very short people, very low less people. So in the morning I'm working as a different role, and in the evening I'm working in a different role. Suppose in the morning I am a technical writer, and in the evening I am a technical content creator or a technical manager. Now, for them, I'll need different permissions for both. So you can assign a permission, a policies to a role. So I'll give a policy to a technical writing role. So when I want to do a technical writing stuff or want permissions related to technical writing, I'll the admin will assign me the role of technical writing with all the permissions to my user. So how this come handy is, if there is a large number of users in the company or in any community you are working in under AWS cloud, you'll find it very hard and impossible to give permissions and policies, attach policies to each and uh, each and every individual user. So creating groups and roles will create a very good environment, and it will be very easier for you to manage users and resources. Now the last thing is credentials. All the credentials of all the users related to any policy, any group, everything comes here. If your credentials are expired, if your credentials are not used, you can check anything, any credentials log. You can create credential policy here. So everything related to your accounts, your resource management, your credentials comes under here. IAM provides you a central hub that I stated in the start, that will provide you a central hub for all the identity and access management. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you like the video, please like it and do subscribe. Thank you.